Ze hayem hasa Hashem nagila v'nismech avoy. Today is the day the Eibishter gave us to celebrate and to rejoice. Hey Teves, especially as we look at Hey Teves, Tavshim Amchas, the first anniversary of Hey Teves, where the Rebbe began the Farbrengen by acknowledging the sign on the wall, Be'ofen of Pirsumei Nisa, that it's the Dan Natzach of the Svarim. And later in the Farbrengen, the Rebbe mentioned Lishana Acheres Kavum Lahalil V'Heidah, that the Teves has become a day established by the Rebbe as a day of celebration, a day of thanking the Eibishter for this incredible matana of Hey Teves. The Alter Rebbe told Rabbi Baruch Mezhibuzer that he could have done through the whole Meiser, gone through the whole arrest and liberation just by putting his hand over his forehead. But he wanted that it should be carried out in the levushim of Teva. It should be carried out in the ramifications of nature. And therefore the Alter Rebbe put himself through an incredible tsar. The Rebbe explains the tsar of the Alter Rebbe, comparing him to the Mittel Rebbe, that by the Meiser of the Mittel Rebbe, the Chassidim were able to come. And therefore the Mittel Rebbe could say Chassidus. But the Alter Rebbe, when he was in jail, the Chassidim were not allowed to visit him, and therefore he was not allowed to say Chassidus. And the greatest tsar for a Rebbe is when a Rebbe can't say Chassidus. And the Alter Rebbe put himself through all of this tsar only so that way that the world should recognize that the Kitrug has been won and that the Alter Rebbe was given the rights to spread Chassidus and on a whole nother level. And similarly, the Milchama of the Rebbe for Hey Teves, that entailed an incredible amount of Tsar v'Yisurim, it was for us. The Rebbe could have won the victory in Yanim Ruchniim, certainly, and yet he went through this most difficult process for each and every one of us. And for that, we gather together year after year to say thank you to the Rebbe for the Milchama that he carried and for the victory that he brought about for each and every one of us sitting here and for bringing here tonight. Last night, where are we? Sunday today? Last Shabbos afternoon in the Tams River. I don't want to say this out loud, but we have Shalashudas. It's a necessary thing to do in order to be mekarev libam shel Yisrael lavi and shvashamayim. So I mentioned that it was Hey Teves. We had nicer tablecloths. Certain people are nitvis in these things. So they asked, what's Hey Teves? So first of all, I said to them, you guys know that I'm crazy. So instead of trying to explain it to you in the pratim, I'll just tell you that it's the Yutes Kislev of our generation. And they understood. They don't understand what Yutes Kislev is, but they understand that it's a yontif. But mainly they were able to understand that Hey Teves is a yontif. And then they asked for more Asius. So what I said to them was, I said that the way people look at the world, to use the expression of Chassidus, it's Elam is b'mitzias and the Lakus is b'yischachas. What you see is what you get. You look outside the window and you see trees and you see a veld, and veld is reality. A Lakus is a novelty. And that was the taina of the Tzad Shekineged. That they were looking at what had occurred in the physical space, and they were interpreting that as if that was reality. And I said to them, Hey Teves is the celebration of Elokus b'pshitis and Elamis b'yischachus. That what you see it might look like it's reality, but that is not the reality. What you see, the reality is the emes al pitera. And it took a Milchama, and it took a Nitzachon, and every year it comes the Danatzach. We celebrate the fact as emes is emes, and Teire is emes, and Moshe emes, v'teirase emes. So when it comes to Hey Teves, we are celebrating the fact as the Rebbe leapt, and in the words of the Rebbe, noch mehr starker, und noch mehr lebendiger, und noch mehr aktiv, in uns, und bei uns, und durch uns in die ganze Welt. And this is ultimately what we gather together, to celebrate and to thank the Eibishter, that Yakiru v'yedu kol yesh v'sevel, as wir haben our Rebbe, und our Lebedikin Rebbe, and despite anybody from the outside that's going to come with kashis and sveikis, v'chulu, v'chulu, nevertheless, the emes remains emes, and today we are celebrating that emes. Of course, in durch uns in der ganze Welt, it is upon us, it is incumbent upon us to be the Zarei B'chaim. As the Rebbe said on Teves, that when the father sees, when Yankov Avinu sees that the children are conducting themselves in the proper manner, that's when you have Atchiruach Yankov Aviyam. So as every Chassidish Farbrengen, as we, together with the celebration for the Yom Tov of Teves, it comes also with a call and with a demand of us that we should step up to the plate to be B'chaim. So that way we could see the Hu B'chaim, we could see the Vatchiruach Yankov Aviyam, and ultimately we should be able to see the Gula Amitis V'Ashlema, the ultimate Idan Notzach. Chaim L'chaim. I just want to make a point, להמשיך to what Rabbi, first of all, Yishkeach Rabbi Gopin, I didn't say thank you. So Yishkeach Rabbi Gopin, and Yishkeach Rabbi Groner. And just to add an akudah to what Rabbi Groner was saying in the beginning, Rabbi Groner was mentioning how this milchama, if you will, began Yud Shvat. It's just interesting to note that in the Maimer of Yud Shvat Tavshin Yud Aleph, the Rebbe establishes the concept of Shvi Larishin. You know, it's not really directly Hey Teves related, not necessarily, but if you look, the Maimer relates the fact that there were 7 Deiras. Then there was Moshe Rabbeinu, and Moshe Rabbeinu Erida Lamata Ba'aretz, and the job of the 7th generation is to complete that which was done, that which was begun by the generations before it. In a sense, if you don't have the Shvi, you don't have the Rishon. So when you say, Rabbi Groner, when you say that that this started Yud Shvat, the Rebbe very clearly spoke about it, Yud Shvat, Yud Tavshin Yud Aleph, when he established very clearly that what we were doing, what the Rebbe represents and what Deira Shvi represents is not an isolated generation, but it is actually, it's a culmination of the 6 generations prior to that. That this is why we heard the numerous times from the Rebbe, because it wasn't just one Deir. It was a Deir that was a Shvi L'Rishon. And if you stand up against the Shvi, you're automatically calling into question the Rishon as well. So the Milchama wasn't just obviously the Milchama was against our Rebbe, but by going b'Milchama against our Rebbe, it was calling into question even the Rishon. And even the Alter Baal Shem Tov and the Magid, as the Rebbe told us many times, that the Alter Rebbe brought the Teres Baal Shem Tov and the Teres Magid into Chachma, Bina, and Das. So from day one, if you will, the Rebbe established who I don't want to say who he was, but the Rebbe established what our role is as Deira Shvi, and the Rebbe as our Rebbe, which is the Moshe Rabbeinu, who is going to fulfill, with the assistance of us as Chassidim and Shluchim, the Herida Lamata Ba'aretz, and this was a Milchama directly against this. So I'm just being moisef and neufach to what Rabbi Groner was saying. Upon him, Elam Zazagan L'chaim, I see this a little bit of a mashke. It's like what's the Pachech Shemen. It's supposed to last for 8 days around there. But so Zazagan L'chaim is the Farbrengen Abyssal. Obviously, I want to mention again the Rebbe's library.com. We should support the library and be able, so that they should be able to reach their goal. More importantly, that they should continue to maintain and to grow the library, the Rebbe's library.com. We saw before in the Sikha, the Rebbe mentioned the idea that there was a taina that is nicht aktiv. And of course, the Rebbe refuted the taina and said that we are active, and nevertheless, the Rebbe demanded more. The Rebbe demanded more and said, if there could possibly be a taina, then it must mean that the only reason there could be such a taina is only so that we should strengthen our efforts. I found an interesting connection in the Sikha that we are learning this week in Parshas Vayechi and Chelik Chaf. Inside those who learn the Halikut program are learning, inside those who follow the schedule of Project Likutei Sichos are learning in Vayzicha Vayechi Beis. The Rebbe speaks about Yosef and Levi, that Yosef and Levi did not carry the Oren of Yaakov Avinu. The Rebbe explains because both of them are higher than the Inyan HaGalus. The Oren of Yaakov Avinu represents the beginning of the Galus, the beginning of Shibud, and Tzai Yosef and Tzai Levi represent the opposite of Shibud, and therefore they could not take part in carrying the Oren. But the Rebbe explains that Yosef and Levi have two different Eifanim in how they transcend Galus. Yosef is Eile Tildes Yaakov Yosef. Yosef carries the Eir of Yaakov Avinu. Yosef is a Melech. He's Shalit on Mitzrayim. Yosef rules Mitzrayim. Yosef owns Mitzrayim. Yosef is a Balabasa Welt. Levi, on the other hand, Levi is living through Galus, but Shevet Levi were made a Torah. That through the Limud HaTorah, they inspired the Yidden to be Mahapich, the Galus, V'avaya Yagiyachoshki, V'chashayanu Eisei, Ken Yifre V'chen Yirbe, Ken Yirbe V'chen Yifretz. So in other words, the two areas where Levi and Yosef, what are the two areas? Yosef is Balabasa Welt, and Levi is Inyan of Torah, which are the two things that Rebbe spoke about numerous times leading up to Teves, and Rebbe spoke about in the Sikha of Teves, Tavshim and Zayin, the two areas where the Taina Kevayachal was, that there was a lack of Aktiv, which was in the area of Afatzas Aymeyonis, of taking over the world, and Sai the Inyan of Limud HaTorah, that there's a Taina, that the Ksavim and the Svarim are not being used sufficiently. And it was during this Tkufa that the Rebbe spoke about Ich gehe in Himmel und ich Ksavim lasechaich. So b'meila it comes to Teves, the two areas that we have to improve and we have to increase and we have to prove to ourselves that even though the Rebbe says clearly there's not a lack of Aktiv, but the Rebbe demands more, is in the area of Einem in the Welt, which is to bring the Shechina l'mata ba'aretz through going on Shlichus, through doing Mivtzoyim, through Einem in the Welt. And of course, the other areas, the area of Limud HaTorah, Pashat Haravin, in Lernen Torah, Ubefrat, the Limud of the Rebbe's Torah, and B'Shas, we learn the Rebbe's Torah, and B'Shas we go on the Rebbe's Mivtzoyim, and we go on the Rebbe's Shlichus, then we are combating the Taina of the Tzad Shekineged, and it's Ba'ashkecha Pratis, usually Hey Teves is in Vayigash. Punkt, this year, Hey Teves is in Vayechi, and in Vayechi, we're learning the Sikha about Levi and Yosef. Granted, the Rebbe connects Levi and Yosef with Ephraim and Menashe, but I don't want to hog the mic, and everyone can open the Sefer and learn it, and it's much more geschmack when you learn it B'Lashon Harav. So I just wanted to be ma'ader that it's an opportunity for each and every one of us to increase in Limud HaTorah B'chlal, and the Rebbe said Ba'arichos, in the Farbrengen of Hey Teves Tavshim Ches, that the ultimate Even HaBechen of if the Svarim are Notzach is if there's a limud in the Svarim. Nicht zu Uislufterin, not to air out the Svarim once every 30 days, but to wear out the Svarim every single day. And that's the Even HaBechen, and one of the takeaways from Hey Teves is as Medav Pasha sich kachen in the Rebbe's Torah, the Rebbe's Shlichus in the Rebbe's Mivtzoyim, Medav Haravin in the Rebbe's Torah. And I want to connect this with the whole concept of the fact of Ich gehe in Himmel und ich Ksavim lasechaich, that a chelik of the idea of Hey Teves, or maybe the primary element of Hey Teves, was the fight for the nitzchias of the Rebbe, to prove to the world and to prove to us and to fight for us that our Rebbe is forever. And on this note, I would like to call up Rabbi Yaska Greenberg, Shliach of the Rebbe in Alaska, to Farbrengen a little bit with us about the concept of the Nesias of the Rebbe and how the Inyan of a Rebbe is the Inyan Nitzchi Le'elam V'ed Mamish.